Tugenda cleaning emyala gino bamama. Tuli mukola mapping. Ye mama.
To make a survey and intervene with the people who are going to be first the beneficiaries, you know, in many aspects. So we have, as Uda is going to add on, we have, divided our research into 3 different phases. Okay, into 3 different phases. So we want to ask people. We have come up with a set of questions that we shall use as our guidelines to intervene with the community. So today, I think we are beginning with
Hello world. This is FlipTown Decentralized Autonomous Organization together with Munansi Green Initiative, Give Love Foundation in Kamwokya, and the Ghetto Research Laboratory in Kamwokya. So we are going through the entire Kamwokya slum and mapping it out, especially finding where the waste is concentrated and how the waste is distributed, because we are looking at transitioning the entire slum area and making sure we can give them a long-term evolution into a green area. Yes. So just as you watch these videos, this is the whole team that is doing the mapping exercise. That is Patrick from the Ghetto Research Laboratory right there. Yeah. So it's a whole vibe, you see, as we connect this. Yeah, so the people are comfortable. They are very comfortable in this kind of waste, you know. So what we are doing is coming from the grassroots. From the grassroots to bring solutions. We were here in August 2023 and we actually discussed with the people of the ghetto. By the way, this is how they dump off the garbage. From one home, you just put this right here and that's fine. No one is gonna pick it, so I think you should be appreciating the kind of, do we appreciate dirtiness? Yes, you should be appreciating this kind of thing. So before we work out anything, we have to observe and appreciate, and then we work out the sustainable system that is going to transition these areas. Yeah. Hello world. Yes, it's FlipTown, it's Munansi Green Initiative, it's Give Love, it's the Ghetto Research Laboratory, and we are in Kamwokya right now. We are mapping out the entire place, especially regards the waste. We have a sustainable project that is actually going to be developing biomediation and transitional systems that are going to transform the whole slum into a very, very green area where people can actually have a clean environment and can actually do a lot of good things in life, breathing the best oxygen and everything. So we are in Kamwokya and these are the live footages from the kind of waste that we have. We are mapping out the entire area starting from the Give Love Foundation, and that's Crispus right in front of me, the founder of Munansi Green Initiative. He's taking his notes and also drawing out his maps. We have a very big team that is already ahead of us. Yeah. So as you watch these videos, make sure you look at the hygiene, the cleanliness of all these areas. Look at the kind of waste that is here. Look at the water sources. Look at this. Yes. So this is the norm of the day here in Kamwokya, in the slum. And the young people grow up playing in this kind of environment with this kind of dirt and everything. So what we are doing is actually calling upon the whole world out there to support this project and have a better slum transition into a green area. Here with the councillor, we are checking out one of the toilets that is provided by the KCCA, which is the Kampala City Council Authority. Has also provided some of these public places for the people. We don't have good access here, but you can hear him explain.
I was of the view Chisinga basota no nyabo singa bakwata good project but it is on this very toilet ekitege ni bakiteeka mu gundi ya KCC we build again ekibanga kibakozesa given the fact that abantu bagendayo almost on a daily basis ate nabo you pick out the waste area.
Not waste, you're good.
Every week.
Yeah. How many? So should we think of 100 people using this toilet?
More than 100.
More than 100 in a day?
Yeah. More than, even all the other zones come and use the same platform.
Wow.
So,
this toilet is used by more than 100 people in a day. The entire zone uses this pit latrine.
To use. So whenever somebody
We've
wants
not
to
gotten
go out,
access into this place, but
they go to this.
from the smell and the stench that is coming out of here,
So
I'm sure we wouldn't want to enter here.
And it flies as
Sure.
well.
Oh,
Flies, you can even smell.
okay.
Are you not able to?
I am not able to.
One of our good residents is taking us to
You
access
have the
the...
keys?
Wow, thank you.
So,
Thank you. So we are going to access the pit latrine that has been provided by the Kampala City Authority. And it's being used by more than 100 people in a day. Can you imagine that? Yeah? So I think there is a lot of gold in there that people have been depositing as waste. So if we can bring in the compost toilets and all these sustainable projects that we have, we can transform this fully.
I don't know why this thing was closed. I don't know what's the key.
But you can climb on those bricks and see what the other side. Those bricks were.
Thank you, Mama.
Maybe some other time put it.
Yeah, I'll make sure that I get the keys.
Yeah.
Hello world, we are in Kamwokya Slums right now. This zone is particularly called Chifumbira. We are FlipTown Decentralized Autonomous Organization together with Munansi Green Initiative, together with Give Love Organization, and together with the Ghetto Research Laboratory. And what we are doing right now is mapping out the entire area. And we are actually, that's the entire team in the background. We are actually focusing on finding out how waste is disposed of and the intensity of this waste, because what we are doing is actually a sustainable transitional program that is going to use biomediation and a lot of these good technologies that are regenerative to make sure that this slum can become a green area again. So this is a space where we have some open space. Previously we've been going through a lot of corridors, and you have just seen all these previous videos where we have these kinds of videos. So here we have met the local council one, the lady. So in the background right there, the councillor that is on our team is talking to the lady, the chairperson of this area. I would love to show you a lot of the waste in the background. I don't know if you can actually watch all this kind of waste. Yeah, this seems like a good building in the slum here, but the rest of the buildings have actually been very tiny living spaces and business areas that are extremely dirty. This is the entire team that we are using. So we have a lot of good projects that can actually, for example, the compost toilet developed by the Ghetto Research Laboratory. We are looking at using bamboo housing to help these people, especially in times of floods. We are looking at biomediation and bringing in plants that can actually purify the soil and purify the air too. So we want to call upon everyone out there who sees this project and follows it, follows FlipTown now, follows Munansi Green Initiative, follows Give Love, follows the Ghetto Research Laboratory, and follows the Uganda Permaculture Consortium to go ahead and actually support this kind of project to have our people's future secured, you know. Yeah, thank you.
olaba nti balina obwetaavu kyokola naye nga njagala era mbagaye nti tulina okufunamu tusensitizinga abantu tubagambe ku bulungi bwaki bwekyo ekintu lwanze nganze ekibayinza ekirimu bukyafu toilets zisobola okuyamba n'abakadde batasobola kgenda kusitama ku toilets ezo then nezino toilets zaffe ziringanga eziri damaged tusobola bulungi nnyo okukwata ekkubo ne tuddamu ne tuzitereeza ne tukozesa projekiti yaabwe so bana yono yenna abakyala wa kino ekitundu she's the mother of this zone, this entire zone.
Sense okulaba n'abakyala
kale n'abakyala kati kampitemu.
So as we move forward, I just want to show you how dirty these corridors are and how normal it is. Look at this. Just look at this. And the water is stagnant, like you saw. It goes through all these trenches. It's just very near the entrances of the buildings that the people live in every day. And this is the normal thing here. So I want you to take a good look at this. Look at where we are walking. This is the normal state of this area. Let me take you further here.
When we cover up, I don't think because when it's open.
So there are solutions all around the world, but we have not come to the grassroots to get the real problems from the people and know exactly what would work for them. So what we are doing right now is connecting with the environment and mapping it out to know exactly what is happening on the ground. Just like you saw this. You cannot plan for this when you're very far away and just seeing these photos. You have to come here and experience this. It's nasty. So I think as sustainable organizations that are looking forward to having a very, very green future for the planet, this is a real time for us to get out here and know exactly what is happening. And for your information, the whole of this place has actually been developed on what was once a bin, a kind of waste dumping area, and it's a very big heap of non-biodegradable material, all buried down here. So when you look at this, water comes out of one household just below the gate with all this food and everything. Let me try to zoom in for you a little here and see. And then I want us to follow this channel and just look at where it ends up. It just joins the path, the normal path that the people use every day. And right here, it goes underneath another building, another structure being used by some other person as a house. Look how this entire network connects. And look at how much waste is in here, plastics and all this.
As you can see, this is waste.
Yeah.
But you'll be surprised. You see there's some little bit of clean water.
There is very clean water here.
As you can see, this is a national water pipe that is passing through here. So now right here, there is maybe a leakage.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised that people actually getting water from here for domestic use. Cooking, drinking water. This is the water that they are using at this moment. Next right here, you can see there is a big trench called slum.
Look at all this. Look right here. See what we have right here. And this is the normal day because this is not being cleaned up. This is like a kind of bathroom. Someone is showering, and right around here as we go, these are all homesteads in the ghetto right away. This is where someone puts his garbage. Right here you see You see how all the waste comes out of one building into the main channel, and that's the norm of the day. Waste comes out of any whole household and joins this kind of trench network that is in the whole slum. And there are all types of waste in this. None of them even employs any kind of sorting method, to have maybe the plastics out of the biodegradables and all this kind of stuff. That is the councillor telling us, digging deeper into the problem and giving us a whole magnitude of this. And as we move further, I need you to notice that this is the norm of the day here. Everyone doesn't look at this as a problem. Actually, they have gotten accustomed to this. Maybe they have believed that they even have nothing to do about this. So as grassroots organizations, we are coming out of the very, very local community to find the real solutions that are actually sustainable for our planet. Look at all this kind of plastic waste.
olw'amazzi kiri kyolwadde ogamba bakonekitinga ku suwas kati suwas ziri blocked.
Kansala, webale kuyitako eno. Kale netusomere Kansala, kati kiki?
Abatoilets z'amazzi. Somebody has sewer line. Yes, sewer line. Naye bino byonna bisobola okukendera singa abantu abakonekitinga ku suwas nga tebalina mazzi mu mayumba bakola ki? Babi disconnecting. This is because the blockage is in different houses.
So the sewers are all blocked and overflowing. You can imagine what is happening in the rain season. Look at that. And it is flowing 24/7. Very close to all these homesteads here. These are all our people living in this place, you know. And they say it has been flowing like this for the past 2 years. I need to take it. The sewers have been blocked and they have been. This is FlipTown, decentralized autonomous organization. There is Munansi Green Initiative, Give Love, the Ghetto Research Laboratory, and together with the bigger team, including the leaders in Kamwokya, we are being moved around by the councillor of Chifundira. And we want the entire world to see by themselves. Look at how this waste is distributed in this area. Look at all these trenches and imagine where they are all flowing to, because we are at actually a higher altitude and all this sewage is flowing like this 24/7 towards the lower side. The lower side, we've been told, as we expect still, has a lot of health problems. I don't know if you can see the little boy out here, but he's giving a piece right there. So this is where everything goes, from the household waste to the factory waste, to from the small factories in the upper side. Yes, so this is how the entire channel looks like. The KCCA, which is the Kampala Capital City Authority, has just built this channel, and here we can have a look at where all these small networks of channels that we have had in the previous videos actually join to. And right here, this is the main channel, but look at how it looks like. Look at the kind of waste in here. It's not sorted in any way. We have plastic bags. We have a lot of plastic bottles. We have organics thrown in here, the fruits and everything is not sorted at all. It's not even flowing. So this, most of the trenches are blocked, and this is the order of the day here in Kamwokya. I don't know if you can have such a scene and appreciate it in your community. and wake up every day seeing this, grow up seeing this and breathing in this air. So we are not calling for sympathy from the world out there, but we are covering the reality of what is happening in Uganda, especially in the slums of Uganda, and bringing your attention to this because we have a plan as the Ghetto Research Laboratory, as Give Love, as the Uganda Permaculture Consortium, as Munansi Green Initiative, together with FlipTown Decentralized Autonomous Organization, and our friends based in Europe and the USA, we have a plan to build sustainable structures in this area, to incorporate bamboo housing, especially when the time for when the floods are here, to also incorporate biomediation and have all these different kind of plants that can actually filter the soil and try to rejuvenate it, to filter the air for the people. Look at all these little boys. This is where they call home, you know? So join us, support us, share our videos, and make sure the entire world can actually get to have this come to their attention. Wano tuli Kamwokya mu Kifumbira. Muganda wange no yembeera. Leero tubadde n'abakulembeze bakansala abachairman bonna yefe aba FlipTown Decentralized Autonomous Organization nga tuli wamu n'aba Munansi Green Initiative, wamu n'abantu baffe aba Give Love Organization ya Kamwokya wano n'aba Ghetto Research Laboratory. Tuli mu exercise gye bayita mapping, ate nga leero tusazeewo tugibaweereze nga bannayuganda n'ensi yonna mulabe embeera ey'ennyamiza eri mu ghetto. Guno gwe mwala gulimu buli kika kya kasasiro nga tali sorted wadde, buli kika kya kasasiro kirimu, ate nga network nnene nnyo gutambula ekyalo kino kyonna buli wootuuka kiri bubi. So tulina projects zaffe nga ziri sustainable, zikozesa obutonde ne kya best solutions okuleeta enkyukakyuka mu mbeera y'emyala gino ne communities weziti. Imagine labayo wano wonna abantu babeerawo, ono ye tiimu yaffe, nenga wano wonna abantu babeerawo balina mu kuzimba, nenga bazimba mu mbeera y'ekifo nga kiri bwe kiti. Kati bannayuganda mwenna tubasaba mukozese amagezi n'okulowooza okw'enjawulo, kubanga teri agenda kuva mu ggulu oba mu bibuga ebyo bye mwegombe byakulaakulana edda aleete solutions ku byalo byammwe. Era essaawa eno tetuli mu kukola kwe kuyitamu ku ground wano mu Kamwokya mu ghetto zonna, tutegeerere eddala embeera eri mu ghetto. Mbeera ki n'abali mu ghetto bagirowoozaako ki? Ghetto yonna tugimapinze, buli mwala we guyita, buli awali katooyi, buli awakasukibwa kasasiro. Tumiitinze abantu ab'enjawulo ne batunnyonnyola ebirowoozo ebyabwe, era ng'ebirowoozo ebirungi mwe biri mu bantu b'omu ghetto. Kati tuli mu kukwatagana tulabe nga tuleeta kye bayita sustainable solutions ezigenda okuyambako okukula Kamwokya eya green. Twagala ekifo kino kikulemu emiti, kibeeremuko n'ebibira ebisengejja empewo, n'emirandira gy'ebimera ebigenda mu ttaka ne biddamu ne bipurifying ettaka lyaffe. Tuli mu kumiitinga abantu ab'enjawulo, tuli mu kudiringa ne ba sustainable design engineers ab'enjawulo okwetooloola ensi yonna tulabe ng'ebintu bino bibaawo. Naye nga naawe alina interest oba organization ng'olaba kino kikukwatako, we are very, very open to you. Twagala tukwataganire wamu nga collective, tuyambagane nga bannayuganda. Embeera eno teri wano mu Kamwokya yokka, twagala tukwatagane ng'abafirika ffenna. Through our organizations FlipTown DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization yasookera ddala mu Uganda nga kwotadde Give Love, kwotadde Ghetto Research Laboratory, kwotadde Munansi Green Initiative ne organizations endala nga n'ezimu zonna ziri under the Uganda Permaculture Consortium. Tuli mu kukwatagana tulabe nga tuleeta kye bayita sustainable solutions mu communities zaffe.
Tubalina mizigo gyabwe gyakalakalira ekyo tusunulidde nnyo bamaama kubanga abasigala waka abo ate bali nnyo mu kiyungu ekituufu naye lwaki temuyita kulezoni levo ne muyita chairman ng'ekitundu mugamba natufunira nasobola nafuna abantu nga 5 oba 10 ne balime project y'okulimira ku mbalaza n'abalala ne bakopera ku abo kati awo bwe tugenda mukyalina tabedi y'abavubuka nuka tukyali mu kunoonya ebifo ebizibu challenges ebifo then bwe tumala tugenda kufuna this group discussion eyita aba councillors ba chairpersons ba landlords abantu kati ng'oyo oyinza omulowooleza mbuye kifo kitalina tasobola kituwa naye nga yagamba asobola kibawamuteekawo siketi ekyo kyawe naye okumulaba emwe bali ate n'abavuka bala bali ku masomero n'abavuka twande batufuna ku byalo be babagwa mu bitulu baligwa mu bitulu abagala ebyamangu n'abala batafaayo nabo bangi batafaayo abo bebasinga obungi
n'abako ekizibu kyatubuuza natugamba what is the most pressing issue omukulembeze gayinza okugamba yona
ku nsonga ishu yeyogamba employment yetaliiwo ekisookera ddala kyandibadde nga ayagala nnyo okuyamba community yaffe isn't kyobuuza anti kyekisingira ddala ajja kugamba twagala kuyambibwa mu ngeri y'okufuna emirimu ekizibu ky'abantu basikulembeza abalala ne bakulembeza obwavu naye nga tebagamba obwavu takuwadde solution y'obwavu amumala waatya naye nga talina ansa yalowooza gwe omukulembeze wamuleetedde project ojja omuwa solution.
Okay, so in particular, community here,
kugamba kyekyo kisingira ddala employment n'obwavu wano lwewayimba yafuuka luyimba naye ogamba nti abantu tubayambe tutya tajja kuwa ansa entuufu agamba tutuyambe naawe toli mu gavumenti yakuza musitolezi naye natamanya nti gwoli wa kitongole nti gwoli kitongole kibwana kyewa naye okumuyita n'omutegeeza n'omutunuzamu ekifaananyi kiki nze ndi wa kitongole kyana nze kubakwatirako nakubayamba twandikoze tutya era ajja kugamba ekigambo employment tezirina mirimu yakubulira nange kenyini siyinza kubula omuntu engeri gyabeerawo kubanga naawe kenyini bwenkubuuza tobeerawo ddi buli muntu gwolaba atambula tayinza kubula kisitole ye n'omumenyi w'amateeka ajagamba nti kola naye nga takola mbeerawo kati abantu abamu baliwo okusavaivo bunaaziba butya bunaakya butya ye waafuna 5 ng'olunaku lwedde oli wakola omwana gw'onaakola omutwalo gumu n'ekitundu ku sayiti nga wano namanya nti nja kulyako 5 nfune wezisera nga za nnyumba naye nga bwe bulamu bwe watambuliza naye nga tungono wa mukisa naye lwakugamba nti nze njagenda kwabula essimu mufune mutwalanga ekinamba okoleki tubule naye nga toyinza mubuuza niba otambula olaba n'abavubuka bakuliddemu mugenda mubuuze buli muvubuka bw'osanga obeerawo otya omubuuzi okoleki naye ng'omumanyi engeri gy'abeerawo naye nkubulira amazima tayinza gakubulira
kakati kyeya bano abatuuze baffe bwetuba nga tulina entegeka egamba nti nno kino kiyamba ffe katugambe waliwo exercise y'okuyonja ku mwalo oba ne tuyisaamu eggaali naye ng'eyamba batuuze bakiwelkaminga batya batera okugamba katugende tukikole kiyamba ffe
tebasobola kuva mu nyumba kumakya omwala tokulaba leeta ebitiyo n'enkumbe onoofuna abavubuka wadde 5 n'abakyala bennyini libanoodawakuba obalowooza tikyamani gwolina okugogola omwala kansala gwolina okugogola omwala gwolina okuteekawo sente bakole nze nkubula exercise wano kifa ngale mjeto longoso mwala ensire va muno irumanza kusulawo tegenda kuluma gwe Ghetto Research avudde namuwongo oba avudde ekisulo wa Kampala okujja wano tegenda kusanga naye omuganda mjeto erongose tubeera bayonjo kansala gokola mulimu ki teko abaana bayonje twakulonda bebalinde n'omaliriza nga abantu abazo okubayambako nga mwekoze omulimu tuli bantu 8 wano nga ffe tumaliriza ffe tuli mu mwala feka kula abantu baweddemu essuubi abantu baweddemu obuntu bulamu abantu beekyayi mu birowoozo beekyayi ne mu bikolwa wanza omuntu wandibadde akukaabirako wandize n'akukaabirako nga ddi tufunye omukisa ng'abaana bagambu tuzizo naye osobola okuva wali kukifumbira wali ku modani nojja ng'oyita abantu mujye tulongose omwala guno ne mutuuka wansi ku paasova nga tofunye abantu bagenda olwagamba waliwo omukono awo bajja kujja musiri naye nti bwerere n'abakyala bano boona kyamanize ndi mulwadde omusujja naye nga emabega gy'asula kasasira gino omwala abembekeza ate nga yakyafuwazaayo mujje mukikole mulabe wano tutambule tuli mu enti motoka wano kasasiro okuva mu mwala aleta kasasiro okukulyago gwaleta ku motoka naye kumugandi jangu gaputusiyengera tukologosale mangi owosula ndyakyanaiza omusujja guvuma weyamala okubakwatira mboko kyekyaddiga kale kyekivula abaffe bali mu byobufuzi abantu bamala nga aze n'essente ze mu mpale wano okitegedde ajja n'essente ze akakadde keno akadde katadde mu mpale kyekivula bali mu community abantu babulidde ddala betulonda ne bataddira ddala mu community because of what nti omuntu ne bwa service nti nandibadde mbalaga ekyokukola kyandibadde kino ye si kyawuliriza awulira ki olina omeka kati muba bali mu bibuzibu bino mubisanga ate mugattana bingi mu abasinkana abantu banjawulo mugatta bingi muwulira bingi tetumanyi naye kenyini sina answer I don't have answer kubanga answer yandibadde ebeerawo ng'okuŋŋanyiza abavubuka ne bajja ne mutulamu ne munyumya n'obawulira ebirowoozo byabwe n'ofunamu ansa ngeri gyoyinza okukola naye tubayita tebajja naye kwagala okubatega akanyeebwa waliwo 5 ono allowance
kati kyeya waliwo n'embeera endala abavubuka gye batera okukuŋŋaaniramu nolaba nga bo bwe baba bakitaddewo katugambe waliyo event ng'eya music waabwe ekintu bwe kityo ne balabikako nga naye temuli ssente nga bazze kwewagira nga bo
abo music bo ekidongo kyo kibasika ekidongo kibasika kubanga agenda kusala endongo wali yabwerere atekebo mind ze zikole ki zibeere nga ziri active naye ekintu kyonna ekikwatagana n'exercise y'okukolera obwerere wano tekyakola ki naffe abakulembeze kamba ekyokulabirako ekisembayo batuyita mu seminars day and night naye bategeera nti yali allowance teri mukulembeze gwolabayo ogera kuyita abakulembeze tuyita bachairman LC nibagamba nti omusomo gwa bwerere teri transport allowance kuba nti musanvu tulina kubikikola bako abantu ababiri oba n'obutawana kulize tebiwadde naye ke bateekako message wano ku simu nti transport allowance transport fund there bonna baggwayo n'olaba nga mindis bali mu holo tumala ddi obudde bugenze tusayininge webale nnyo nende byomubuuza nti byebogende wali muholo olina ofunye obimeka batayiza nakunyonyola ye ebirowoozo bimugambo giri emitwaliro gye bamugambe oba omutwalo gw'okusayininga birowoozo bikolaki byemugamba
kati kyeyambadde nsaba mbuzeeyo n'akalala kubanga olabika walabako okukeera ku mirembe gya bulungi bwansi ng'abantu bakuŋŋaana ne bakola ku bintu ebyawamu kiki ekiyinza okuba nga kireetedde abantu baffe bano okubanga bakyaye nnyo embeera surrounding yaabwe nga tebagala contributinga ku kugiyonja ne bagala bagirekera abakulembeze ate nga n'abakulembeze nabo mentality kati almost yeemu kiki ekiyinza okuba nga kivaako ekintu
nga wazeewo system nga mpya nga ate ya dictator
twetagayo dictator mu bintu bino ebyo
for example nze ntera kibulira abantu nga Jennifer Musisi yali wano Kampala ng'agobye abatembe mu kibuga ne nga bali ku frame kukwatako luzira nga ne wafunga abantu bona balaba nga badduka baddayo toolo baddayo kisolo 90% bali baduse naye nga batya ki batya luzira kati wano Uganda wetaaga dictator system ne bagamba nti obukulembeze bufiira waggulu kandi buyanga Museveni afuddewo oba ne wajja omuntu omulala nga dictator wayinza okutereeza enkolera
akyayogera akitegeeza
n'agamba nti tugambe tulunaku lw'omukaaga wiiki esooka mu wiiki bulungi bwansi buli muntu LC kusanga tutageze bulungi mwala wabeera luzira abantu bona bakola ki ettawuni yo nesigala nga nkalu LC negiteekamu amaanyi nesigala ng'ekola ki nga yeekola exercise ekola nti nga bwetaaga dictator government n'ebino byokweguya obululu tano mulonzi wange tajja kumpa kalulu bwe naamwogerako tajja kumpa kalulu eyo system yesinza okutta buli kintu kyonna that's all nze mbawulidde byange egewe simutunda byaliwo ekirala tumaze tewali kirala kyanjawulo kyembagamba kyemugenda kulaba kujjaku zeezo kati ngamba olina okuba nga nze mbawulira okuyita mu challenge baana paya sagala kulimbe okuyita wansi eyo mu kyamuka olina okuba nga nyinamu emigo nga 10 oba gwe tokiriiko naye nze nkubuulidde toyinza kuyita mu kyamuka nga sinayo emitwalo 10 nembavaako nsobola kulemerwa nenziruka sagala nkulimbe information gye munjagalako nje babuulidde wano I know the system nze okutambula mu kkubo nze ntudde wano kwagala buli wentambula eddakiika 10 kansa lundekedde kaki bakujjulako naye nga nekikuba atokirakolaki nze mbabulira mazima buli woyita mu community wagenda ne bulumbe wano bakujjulako olowooza ti sene wayise nazo mupale kalina okuba bweramu emigo kinono emigo 5 gya change ng'ogina ku kabina wano wakujja omulisa lwasa okubeetegulako bweteguzi olabedde okolaki ova mu area andi kati yenkugambye nti n'abantu abaleeta system ebyobufuzi baleeta sene mu byobufuzi baleeta system yonna nze ndi kansala naye abantu abagenda okukola omulimu gw'okuweereza okulabirira abantu mu kanso waliyo omu babiri abala sente n'abala banoonya okwesimba banoonya agenda kufuna allowance eri mu sekanso naye si buweereza kubanga oba kansala n'okwata milioni za 3-5 million for example 20-30 million oziteeka mu kalulu wadi olowooza ki bw'omala okuwangula ogenda kuddamu okwate milioni 3 okole ki odde mu bantu ogenda n'osaba looni ne bagikuwa emyaka gy'etaano ogenda tewasalaama kyekola abantu beesimba oduutemu tebadda bamuwasereza myaka 5 agati sidda mu bintu nateeka milioni zange 2 kati nfunye milioni zange 7 mweraba bagoba nfunye milioni 5 abadde Kamwokya n'asenguka nadde n'asana awa nadda emukono neyekolera emibuje kubanga is investment omuntu oyinza mugamba nti njagala kuba kansala tukole omulimu oguyamba community Kamwokya tabiwuliriza era talina sente mu mpale toyita mu bantu tuuze mukiraba problem eriwo paya sigamba nti nze nkubudde ku Friday kuyanga omuyita wano mu zone yange ne mu central zone naye wansi eri waliyo jjanga y'abavubuka mumanyiye wansi mu kibinika kyamuka nze banengerako balinga balabye ku Museveni musolo wabagala central zone ojja kutambula mwone wange naye wansi eri nze nkubudde kwansiirawo mitonde mu kuzimbe wange nyumba yange nendegendaku kale buli mwefuna emitwalo 2 kusooka kundabiriza ewange
mulabo Shuma bamufuna project Shuma leya zena saba mugenzise bana Kizito namuwa barua bare nazimba mazi kubanga maze kufuna retirement nagamba zelina nyumba njagala kuzimba na mazi ya Bwerere nanyuwa kuva mwaka 5 ikaga naija wange mpaka kati nze wendi mazi yakoma huko mungalo yange tulunguza bato basana ya Bwerere basana ya Bwerere
basenera Bwerere
ya Bwerere si ya sente batunze basana ya Bwerere naye hako mazi kwale kutaba mugeze teka wange amenya mayinja nze zimba na sente zange naye muteka wange si side kakati mazi yakoma ondoza musambwa ayagala akomawa kutambule kutata ndelongo sabulijo dokwaga gambe mazi aleko mungalo yo kola mulungi wange naija mwaka 6 nanywa mazi ndelenga mwaka 7 mutano Sangu mutano mazi basena ya Bwerere government mazi kupima mulamu nyo bamuyita muzee wa kazi.
Mzee wa kazi. We bale kuwa abantu mazzi gabeerere.
Basene ya bwerere.
Kati mzee ekizibu ki osinga okufuna mu bantu wadde basena amazzi gano bajja ne bayambako okubateeka.
Kizibu nze funa. Nava kugamba kansala kati. Kasita nze yooza. Nze teekako bitu wano saagala muntu yonna ayingire eri.
Adugaze.
Nze muzee wa kazi. Saagala muntu ayingire naye balala bayingira lwapaaka. Nagamba banange tomukola bw'oti nze kola mulungi wansi. Nze kwate mutwale lukwago yamuwa sente. Agamba naku maze twale ku taabu. Tunda 10 kidomola emu. Oli alese taabu. Twala ripoti polisi yakwata twale ku city hall. Tutwale lozera. Amale wiki emu akomao ku court. Kasita tugamba dayo kamosha anja kudayo kamosha.
Kati mzee
kasita tugamba dayo lozera anja kudayo.
Mzee bana abantu abajja ne basena wano amazzi goba wako bwerere. Balina lwe bajja ne bakuyambako okuyonjako.
Neda
waliogezezako bayita bajje bayambe.
Nze yonja yeka. Kubanga nze lena baruwa ya mugenzi meya. Mugenzi sebana kizito. Wulira. Kati oli sebagala kugenda kuyingira sebagala yekata tukisaidi yenu. Banga le kusaidi akawembe. Na elo kwago yaija yamuona sente. Bamuleta ku Saturday ngini bamusanga maze kuyoza wangu yera bulijonze yera bulira yera bulijo lokwago yaja yona sente ya pia noti pia yateka ku mungalo yange yakola boti muyingira ate bantu be bakola ku mwala bade je bali bayagala kunyaga sente eyo bafollowing ati mukama wafu yanja kumuwa sente ndola nagamba eno mukisa yange bulira musajja lulu naija mwaka nkaga paka kati
kati mzee kine kintu kyendaba ekikulimu ekyokubanga osobola okuyonja oluza abantu ne balukozeseza ku bwerere osobola otya okukiteeka mu bavubuka abato abakulidde ku kitundu nga bakulaba ng'okikola emyaka gyonna nabo ne batandika okufuna endowooza
eyo tabasobola eyo tabasobola nze kola yeka kubanga nze kake abuye ku physical fitness atanze musambi wa mupira ulaba so kole ko ulaba physical fitness nze samba okira road kanze leno nze yingira ku insi yona ya bwerere FIFA ya muona gamba njagala kokola mu dilira kan mu nyumba yangu insi bamusamba mupira ya bigere nze laga kadi yoka nambule abajasi bayingira siku VIP tabakiriza bayagala bale basasude mutwalo 15 yeba koze line nze babujayo ku line bamugamba muzee wa kazi gamba yingira na motoka ya minister wakana najaberi bidani sali kati ya stroke mukama wange nyona kola na bade minister ya energy atenze kola mu UEB muhamba au ulaba fitness muzee asali mulamu ulabi stu muzee ulaba abavubuka bano lwaki tebasobola ate banda kusobola ate tabasobola
tukoze tutyo okulaba nga kisobola
tukoze tutyo okubatandika okubateekamu
olaba gwokola
onu yeka omwana wange yakola ayamba oyo first born ya ulaba ye oli ukola naye maze twali kutapula kagamba tunda oli alese tabo tunda polisi akwata twale musiki olwo
lewa kazi
mu mapize uwe
so ebyo byonna nga biri awo tutuuseeko wano ku TLC mu Kamwokya munda abategera Kamwokya wano mumanyiiwo kyewunyisa nekino ekifo kiri mu ghetto ekyo kirinaku ka green kirinaku structures ennungi tiimu yaffe yeeyaawo FlipTown Munansi Green Initiative Give Love Ghetto Research Laboratory ne Uganda Permaculture Consortium so kati wano wetutuuse we are having a small rest to sharing ne maps zaffe zetulina ez'enjawulo tulabe ng'ebintu bino tubikola mu communities zino ate ng'abantu tubyekolera from the grassroots abantu baffe tusaba mukyesonyiwire ddala mwerabirire ddala embeera y'okuba nga mulowooza waliwo agenda obbayamba nga aveeyo waggulu gye muyita above oba mu bwengula taliiwo. Tukwatagane tukole ebintu ebitwetoolodde tubikyuse, ate tubikyuse mu ngeri eri sustainable nga bigenda kuyamba ne generations eziddako. Kyekyo kye tuliko essaawa eno olwaleero nga tumapinga Kamwokya. Hello world. Tuli mukola olunaku olwaleero kye bayita green spaces survey. Tuyise mu Kamwokya mu ghetto yonna. Essaawa eno tuli Kamwokya ku TLC nenga kind of activity gye tuliko ey'okumapinga y'ey'okufindinga green spaces. Nga Kamwokya bwe mugitegeera bulungi, it is a big slum. Kati ng'ovudde wano ku TLC videos endala zonna muzirabye nga gye tuyita tubuuka myala, ate nga si myala nti no giri clean, girimu ku mazzi. Emyala egisinga gyonna gijjudde kasasiro wa buveera, kasasiro wa macupa, kasasiro wa byuma, kasasiro wa bigoyegoye n'ebintu abantu ebikuta by'amatoke bye baba bawaase ku mmere ne basuula mu kasasiro. Mulabye emyala nga tooyi n'ebinaabiro byonna biri kumpi waggulu w'emyala, era amazzi gava mu kinaabiro ne gagwa wali mu mwala ne gagenda ate wali ne gayita wansi w'ennyumba y'omulala. Ebintu bino byonna twagala tubibalage. Ffe eno gyenkozesa gye twasalawo tukozeseemu technology. Tubalagire ddala ekigenda mu maaso ku ground ne ideas zennyini ezisolving ebintu bino ku grassroots kweziri mu batuuze baffe, era organizations ze tukoze nazo olwaleero omuli Give Love ne Ghetto Research Laboratory eziri best one e Kamwokya. Solutions weziri era ideas tetugamba nti n'abantu tebazirina, naye kati essaawa eno twagala tukole awareness nga tugamba ensi yonna nti nno wano kiri bwekiti ne bwekiti, nammwe mukimanyi ne mukirabako buli lunaku. Tulina we tuyise omuzeeyi n'atugamba, tumubuuzizza ngeri ki muzeeyi abadde akola bulungi bwansi, alinawo ensulo ku kifo kye era yasalawo awo abantu bonna amazzi ag'obwereere, bajja ne bakima amazzi ku bwereere. Tumubuuzizza omuzeeyi nti ngeri ki gye tuyinza okukwasaganya abavubuka b'omulembe guno nabo ne basobola okubeera nga ggwe ne bafuna omutima ogwa bulungi bwansi, nga basobola okujja ne bayonja enzizi zino ne bayonja channels zino ne bajjamu kasasiro ono ne tusobola okutereeza ku kitundu kino. Muzeeyi alina emyaka 75 bamuyita muzeeyi wakaazi awo mu ghetto, agambye bano abavubuka b'omulembe guno tebasobola. Kiswaza nnyo bw'aba akyogedde bw'atyo, naye nga nze kyembabuulira bino byonna tuli mu birabako era tukakasa nti nno mmwe kennyini bavubuka bannaffe, bannayuganda bannaffe, bafirika bannaffe, musobolera ddala okyusa ensi yaffe ne tugifuula kye twagala. Ate ensi yaffe kyalina chansi nnene nnyo okufuuka green. Tukyabisoberera ddala kubanga kati wano we tuli e Kamwokya mu slum ze Kamwokya kye kimu ku kifo ky'oyinza okugamba nti nno kyonoonekedde ddala in terms of vegetation, tewali wadde ka green. Ettaka liri polluted nnyo, empewo yonna eri polluted. Kati tubadde tulina aba partners ab'enjawulo bangi mu organizations era nga tuli mu kugezaako kulaba nga tusobola okukozesa real technologies eziri sustainable, regenerative practitioning, ne tuddako ne mu biomediation tulabe nga tusimba ebimera ebisobola okuddamu ne bipurifying ettaka lyaffe, ne biddamu ne bipurifying empewo yaffe, ne tuyitako mu mazzi ag'enjawulo ne tukiriininga amazzi gaffe. Abantu baffe ne batandika okulaba nti nno nature esobola okwetereeza era nga yezzaawo bulungi. Essaawa eno we tuli waliwo n'abaana abazannya, abaana babeera wano kubanga ka environment kalungiko, kitegeera. Naye ate eri gye tubadde wali abaana abalala naye nga bo bali mu kasasiro, bwe bulamu bwa bulijjo. So tugenda kukwatagana mu floods, tuyinayo kye bayita bamboo buildings, tuyambagane ne technologies zonna zino eziri nature based okukola circular economy. Mukitegeera baganda bange. Ffe aba FlipTown DAO, Munansi Green Initiative, Give Love, ne Ghetto Research Laboratory ne Uganda Permaculture Consortium. Thank you.
Naye nga bano batono tulina abawerako lwakuba bagenze njala ng'ebali bubi so bazannya wano chess era batuwangulidde
so nona akola ki nava makati mutule so kati wano tulinakulya kintu kyonna. We are just preparing for war. You understand English? Because in war, once you are not prepared, you easily die. So you have to pull up all your forces. You have to pull up all your weapons to engage in war. Okay? So you get prepared for war. Now if it's first time, then you develop this night. You say 1, 2, 3, 4. Always develop the night. And when you take one.
Bino byebimu
bijjayo kubanga twaguddewo ki amakubo mubiita tumugwerya bwezanya wanagawa bikikwenda okuvaayo bikikwenda okuvaayo ogigulira wano nevaayo bweti oba si ekyo ogula wano nogiteeka wano naye ebiseera ebisinga ogula wano bwoti ogula awo okiraba kakati mu mbeera eyo obanga byo black olaba bishop eno mutuleno yakulumbye
tetulina nsonga naye kochi nga ye ng'omuntu amanyi bingi bye beetaaga ate naye alina ebyetaago ye ng'omuntu bye yeetaaga okuyimirizaawo gundi esigale ng'etambula ng'eyamba abaana b'omu ghetto. So kochi mukasa asobola okwongera okubanyonnyola kuba asobola okumanya amakaago singanzi.
Okay. In the Ghetto Research Lab and Academy, course nga Ghetto Research Lab and Academy, club ya muzanyo, ate academy, tusomero lya muzanyo kuno kwa chess. Kuno muzanyo, tukumanyidde okubeera mu bazungu, basoma n'otabyo. Naye nange lwokuba nti nakulira mu mbeera zino nga baana zibakuliramu myaka mingi nga kino ekifo tinakubeera bwe kiri wano baali kitoogo nga tubeera mu kuzanyira. Kati bwe nayiga omuzanyo gwo nenguzanya ku national level ate nenfuna obudde bwangu neŋŋamba I have to put value to my community and the country kubanga guno omuzanyo guli international. Abaana bayiga omuzanyo guno ku myaka gino bwe bagenda mu ssomero they are the brightest, babeera mathematicians, babeera scientists. Their brains is well defined because this game is about analysis, focus, strategizing, which is actually analogous to education. Mubwangu osoma, ngobongo busobola strategizing, focusing, then you always pass. Kati bagenda kusoma, babira so serious. Ebintu bikwana science and mathematics, biba byangu nnyo. Kati naleta omuzanyo guno gubayambe, basobola okubeera abagezi mu ssomero n'ekirala. Guna attachment who the outside developed world, kubanga gwaveeyo mu Europe and whatever, all over the whole world. Nti abantu abazanyi bagusanga wano abalina value, abasoma, abagagga, abazungu, kino kifo nga Mukyala Spirituality Center, bwe bajja wano going beyond getting excited about the game, kumanya ebifa mu bulamu bw'abaana bano. Definitely, these are kids from the poor community, the disadvantaged. This is a ghetto. So instead of these kids roaming around, actually this game keeps them around to actually behave well, to actually resist from the delinquent behaviors in the community. They grow up as responsible kids. We actually instill mannerism in them because for us, a chess player at my level, I know what to do. I know this chess teaches you not to do wrong. Because the moment you do wrong in board, then the game is over. So that one is another addition to our lives in that whatever you do in your steps, you measure them so that you make mistakes. So in that case, as far as these kids are concerned, when they are here, they are helped in that way. Also those who come here and have something, they add value by actually sponsoring them. Right now I have 20 kids who have received sponsorship. In the community schools, KCCA and then primary school. Yeah. These kids have played chess for just 1.5 years, but they are on top of the country. We are the best in the country. We won last time actually the CGC National School Chess Championship for Father Grimes, whereby the local schools here in Kamwokya, Dagan Primary School was the first, then KC Primary School was the second, first runners up. So we are reigning as far as chess is concerned in national juniors, as shown by the trophies we have actually acquired, even more in store. So in other words, this game is here to help the community and to improve our lives. Even we actually who are training this game, when actually gain fame, the rich call us to come and train their kids at their home. So the rich are coming to us. They bring their kids here, so they also get a fame. So that's basically what I'm doing here, to help the community. And I believe we support, because we need chess balls, we need other inputs, for example, tournament funds. Yeah, I need to take these kids for tournament, because training them and they become good without going to tournament, you shall never realize what their potential, and even attract whatever additional values to the game. So we need sponsorship. Anyone who can come our aid in terms of funds, financially, and even equipment is highly welcome. Thank you so much.
Comparing it to any other kind of furniture, I mean wood, I think bamboo has 90% solutions to those challenges. Yeah, because one of the characteristics they say about bamboo that is flood resistant. So anything to do with water here, that drainage system has water every time, we can work it out with bamboo, because yeah.
Now my boss, for me the assignment I'm giving my boss here is to search more about the bamboo thing, whether it can actually address either 2 to 3 issues that we talked about.
So we can also try that we can talk to. I heard the group is coming in July.
They are coming in 2 weeks, but they have a model school around which they use the bamboo to build near everything.
Yeah, so we can even invite them. Yeah, and we can have this work together with them, or maybe go to those areas where we realize there's need for help, like that area. So they can give us the information on how to go about it with bamboo. I think it is possible. Okay. Yeah.
Should we call it
urban farming? Some sort of farming they do using bamboo. I tried to look for a picture, but I didn't get it. They get bamboo and surround a space like this. Then in the middle of that space, it's like a point where people put rubbish and so on, waste other than the plastics. That is waste from the kitchen and what. So it's constructed now that the water that flows from the waste goes to the pots that are grown around the bamboo space. So it's something you can incorporate in to attract those bamboo farmers. Other than covering the trenches, we can say we have open spaces where we can introduce this, or maybe on our demo site.
It is very easy to get such spaces when you talk to the LCs or landlords, because most times if you bring out a project and it's helping them maybe clean their area, their surrounding, they're always welcome in it. So if you need like a demonstration place, just now case of that place where we are supposed to go and like do the pilot study, get like the landlord there and we say, can you give us just a tiny little space, and then we have these sacks of, and then we are growing something, and then maybe people from the community or just one person is responsible, we'll have something going on.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I feel, can we maybe first exhaust the feature of waste, because you saw it was spilling over into drainage, coming back into the issues of water. So it's like they're in between these two issues, And one of the other characteristics that I noticed, there is rarely any kind of sorting. Omuntu wateka the degradables, wateka everything all together, so making it very, very possible.
A polythene bag that had
you can put all the things there, by the way, under
that had real feces in the that's why you almost thrown in the trash.
The human excreta.
Yes, the human excreta.
That's why they use the same space to dump the waste.
Where they constructed, and then there's water, the clean water coming out. Yes. just besides those excretors. So they, of course, they don't sort it. They just throw the waste, they dump the waste. All they need to do is get rid of it because they have nowhere to put it.
That's actually their toilet system.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's for real.
Okay.
And then the other thing that I can link specifically to compost toilets, although we are in West, but specifically this one goes to compost toilets. When you look at all, I mean, all the toilets you've visited, they are used by very many people. For instance, one store is used by 50 people plus. One store is akazigokamu, kayangokamu, and we've taken pictures and we realized there's a lot of diseases and very many things associated with those toilets, and the vulnerability of the women and girls using the toilet can make us think of now the compost inside each one was a room. A compost inside it all may be engaging the landlords, I mean the landlords to work with them and change these toilets to compost toilets. Yeah.
We have the landlord right here, our next door neighbor, and he's like, when are you guys coming? Because I just needed you guys to set up the compost, and then he's planning on including the maintenance fee in the rent. It's like, even if I add like 2,000, if I get 2,000 from each household every month, it's just enough to pay for someone to maintain the compost toilet. But it's like, this is something that you keep taking away, and there's always something fresh, like an empty bucket for you to use. Unlike the pit latrine has that it has to keep paying for draining, and then it's collapsing, and then there's nowhere to dig again.
Okay. Yes. So maybe for purposes of documentation to support Francis, let's move semantically. So the third one that we have is sanitation. So what were those characteristics? I saw pit latrines types, isn't it? Were there other types?
Apart from the flying ones.
I
The flying ones, yes.
Toilets,
I think Patrick's sanitation is more about like diseases. Disease.
Yeah, so there's a time we had a survey. We conducted a survey, and we're talking mostly to clinics and women. Now, most clinics say the diseases they treat is infection, UTIs, typhoid, and malaria, because of like that stagnant water and And then the ladies said, they spend a lot of money treating infections. Like this month, you're just done, and then you get another itch, and it's the same thing, infection after infection, and it's because of that exposure. They are sharing bathrooms, they're sharing toilets, and they cannot do anything about it. We had suggested to them the compost, and they said any day, any time when we are ready, they'll always be there, because they welcome the idea, and they're like, if it's something I can put in my house and use it for myself and I'm not sharing, I have no problem, because they spend a lot of money on treatment. Yes.
Okay. Which other characteristics did we see with the sanitation? You provided some secondary data. It's also very important. Which other one did we see?
Also, a number of water initiatives, shared water initiatives, like the one that we saw when we had a big drainage, the one that was clearly painted blue and white, and several others on this side of the community as we went up. So I believe there is general access to piped water, but at the same time there is a lot of open water springs that are in the community where people feel perhaps it's cheaper, more affordable, and more attractive for them. And then we don't know what they are going to use it for. So I believe there is a bit of both. I don't know whether it's an issue of awareness or people know the safeguards they have to take if they are to use such water collected from such unprotected sources for their general food, household related activities. Yeah.
Now, you remember the other spot where we saw the sewer with that issue, big issue. My understanding was that this community does not have any sewer lines. That's why I strictly asked the council, do you have households that are connected to the sewer line? The answer was yes.
Yeah.
So meaning they're also waterborne.
Yeah.
Latrines here, isn't it?
Yeah.
But again, as we moved, we found the other veteran guy who constructed that, protected this what? And that wasn't the only spring well. Remember, even along the other drainage that gets constructed, people also get water from there. I'm trying to connect to the composed kind of sanitation, that if at all we try to change the narrative from the pit latrines and also the waterborne, to try to replace all those technologies with, we are trying to solve an issue to do with the hygiene, good quality water, things like that. And you know what we are trying to address after that. Yeah, exactly.
Actually, pollution. There is also air pollution. You stand right next to the sewer and it's trying to ridiculous. It's incredible.
These madams are
We
busy
are not
mingling.
thinking about the...
Solo call a video boy.
There's people bringing the garbage. So, what's up? We are FlipTown, decentralized autonomous organization. We are Munansi Green Initiative, and we are in Kamwokya with Give Love and the Ghetto Research Laboratory. We've had a whole day in this whole town, and now we are with the people free on the streets. We have seen how this entire place does and goes about its business every day. Look at what's happening in the background here. We have a full contractor for the garbage and the waste. They have come to pick up some of the waste, and now very many people come with their different packages of their waste and they dump off on these vehicles. The truck takes away the waste to the people. So there are systems that are actually serving these people, and we just have to make them more sustainable and even involve them and question them about their responsibility and what kind of strategies they are employing to actually help the people here. So we are FlipTown, we are Munansi Green Initiative, Give Love and the Ghetto Research Laboratory, and we are in Kamwokya for a real green spaces survey. Thank you very much. Hello world, we are in Kamwokya right now, and what we're doing is still our grassroots activity of the green spaces survey, because we are looking forward to actually building a sustainable kind of transformation for the entire community, a holistic solution, and we are finding these solutions out of the grassroots. We have been to all these places and we are checking out especially the hygiene, the wastage, the waste dumps, the trenches, the sanitation of the people, and this is how we are moving in Kamwokya right now. Katesaweno, we are going to Chibinika, to Damu Chibinika, which is actually a low kind of altitude place in Kamwokya. It's very, very dirty because all the water that flows from where yesterday in Chifumbira actually goes down and settles in these other flooded areas of Chifumbira. So here we are with our team. We are FlipTown, decentralized autonomous organization, with Munansi Green Initiative, with Give Love and the Ghetto Research Laboratory, and with the entire community in Kamwokya. We are looking forward to incorporating the locals and having the people bring their solutions to the table too. Patrick, tugamba tusobola kukolerawo ka video n'ennyonnyola kino nekimu. Huda. So what you see right here is one of the clean water points installed by the local authorities in this kind of place. They sell a jerrycan of water at just 100 Uganda shillings. And just a few meters away, I want to show you the kind of sanitation that we have. This is the kind of drainage that we have. Just 2 meters away from the clean water tap, we have this kind of connection between the clean water flow and the very, very extremely dirty water in the sewers here. So this is the norm of the day, like I've been telling you. It doesn't surprise anyone in Kamwokya standing near these trenches and maybe eating something or collecting some water to go and cook something. So it's a very sensitive issue, but because it has been here for very long, and this is the kind of setting of the place, the design of the housing and everything, everyone has accepted that this is the normal kind of thing that is supposed to be happening in this area. Those are latrines. You can see all these are latrines. So just a few meters away, we have a major drainage channel. Now look at this. Look at this. We have almost all the channels that were coming from up that side draining into this one, and it's the dirtiest. It is the most polluted. Look at how much waste is in here. Yeah, and this is someone washing some clothes right there. So everyone keeps using this channel for some water somehow, because there's no water, and you can imagine a time when it's extremely dry and there's no water in the area. People come back to these channels and try to get some little water. So this is how horrible the situation on the ground is. But we believe the grassroots has the solutions, very sustainable solutions, nature-based solutions, and we are already mediating to make sure we can have very many different ideas of how we can actually have a very sustainable transition that is long-term for this Kamwokya slum. So this is a point where the normal channels that actually bring all this kind of sewage actually flow and drain into this main channel that you're going to see right in front of us. Yeah, what you've just seen is someone carrying bags of plastic. He just gets into this contaminated water, picks out all the bags of plastics that he wants, and he'll be out there selling the plastic. So this is what happens. These are the trenches that bring the water from the entire community that we've been up that side. You've seen the very big network of trenches, and then they open up into this mega trench that actually takes away all this dirty water with all the wastes in it. What is so surprising here is this is the normal day here. Look at this. These are all homesteads. You can see the housing conditions. There are no compounds, no green spaces, you know. The latrines open up to every kind of, there's no distance between the latrine and the living room. There's, you know, and these are the small corridors that we are all using. Everyone uses to move through these places. So we have FlipTown, decentralized autonomous organization. As that as this is a vehicle pulling out some hazardous waste from here. So we have some people who actually involve these kinds of systems to come and actually suck out the waste. So this kind of thing. The few who can afford can actually drain out their septics into these kinds of things. So as we do the survey, we also have major structures that we are describing in this kind of community. We have schools like this one. This one is actually called, let me see. What did you say the name of the school is, bro? Best Quality Primary School, and it's also in the Kamwokya region. So we have a number of students in this kind of gate. Yeah, and as you see, it is the very same housing condition, because just immediately after the school you see rounds of other households, and you see all these kinds of drainage trenches almost everywhere. The hygiene is still not this. It's not the best at all, you know. So the entire community is actually having the very same problem of waste, and even in the major social services like the schools and everything, they have these challenges happening. These are small hotels and restaurants in the community, and they still have all these kinds of problems happening too. So look at that. Yes, please.
Then we always have a problem when the other channel brings water with much more gravity. It blocks this from flow, and then water will have to be stagnant for some time up to that side.
For how long?
For as long as now the precipitation comes down. Much as now it is down, the other gravity goes down, this starts flowing.
Do you have any kind of local initiative amongst the households that maybe says when the water...
The initiatives, you see, there is much of land fragmentation.
Very true.
People have just plots. I can tell you that there are over 3 landlords from here to just the next 3, 4, 5 houses.
Very true.
Which means that these are not people who are putting any initiative around that. Rather, if you come intervene.
How about the locals actually, after renting the rooms and they realize that they are on the same building, 10 people, but the situation is like this? Do they ever have a thought of getting together to clean up?
I deal with Nabugabo.
The cleaning.
Upgo joint eventually. Yes, they make people get a receipt. And at the end of the day, much as there is a receipt, landlords say that let each door kind of pay some money for carrying up to where the vehicle. That vehicle cannot come anywhere.
Yeah, there's no
sometimes the main, these are feeder roads. They are not main roads.
Yeah.
So there is where the vehicles pick, it cannot come. So they need to pay some money, but landlords are hard on that.
Sure. So as someone who has experienced this for quite some time, what do you think would be the solution that would...
The solution is cooperation. But as far as you know, Kampala is a hassle.
Yeah.
When you want him to pay, he has gone before you have come to demand. You take your demand back to the landlord, which creates conflict between them.
Yeah.
But I think all of them are good to go. It's just a matter of time, as we know Kampala is a hassle.
And do you think these people even have the hope that this place can be transitioned into a better place? Do they think about it?
God said that we manage the place. it is you to make your environment clean, not God. Go to church and you think they will clean you. Either way, you mobilize people to come and do that. So it is possible.
It is possible, but how many people even still have the hope that we can get together and work
It's
on
not a matter of number. It is matter of the will to do it.
Sure.
The software.
It's not the number.
We
can be all of us here, but how many are willing? That is what matters.
How would you approach this kind of motivation to give them the will to work upon this if you were to take a lead of this initiative?
Me, all I do in my life is I'm a motivator. Before I want you to do it, I do it first.
Sure.
Then you join me. Before you do it, I do it.
That's powerful.
Now, like these mala.
Yeah.
People cannot with just self-motivation do it. It's that people are pouring a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Before they do it, I do it to motivate.
To motivate the people, you must have.
So they will believe that what I'm doing, they can do.
Very true.
Wonderful.
These are all channels, small networks of channels that are actually continuously flowing, and we have been told by the locals that they even actually get to flood here, right? So this is the one of the seasons when it's extremely dry in the area. Imagine this place when we have the heavy rains of the tropical wet seasons coming in, you know? So the people actually have a thought of getting together to work by themselves and make sure they can have their solutions from themselves. They believe in themselves, but very many of them are in this life of unemployment, and it's quite a very big hustle sparing some time out there to come and work on this kind of very basic thing, which is the cleanliness of these channels. Look at this. These are all shops and housing, and then just nearby we have these channels, and everyone is fine with this. No one is actually saying a thing about these channels every day. But the good thing, we have the local people, some who are extremely motivated, and they think this can actually change and become a sustainable kind of environment. And kati evvu lye bayiwangamu baali bagijjangawa
okuva mu communities.
We bookeza kasasiro biki
Like ash,
nga ash yagezaako neutralizing oli west yenna
yagezaako fuka nga manula nga wajja babijjiryamu eno.
Sato
zibadde zikola omusolo ogugenda wokka natwagenda yekka
erina engeri gyokola filtration nemala n'ebigere
ogugenda ku side yaago.
So this is one of the small green spaces that we have identified here. Yeah, I think it's very intentional because I see some bottles and plants in bottles that side. And in this kind of green space, you can actually see the water is actually moving out after a little kind of filtration. It looks a bit cleaner. It's a very small space. We are about to find out whether it has intentionally been created by someone and what its purpose is. because it has been very rare for us to find a small kind of space like this one in this kind of community. So we are very happy seeing that the green is still here and it is able to actually find a way to fight on its own and get back. But you see, it is all entirely still encroached on by all this kind of dumping and polythene bags and the plastics and everything. So this is one of the green spaces we can say is inside the ghetto here. And observe that is a latrine just close to the green space. And this is a trench that actually continues this way. This is one of the oldest serving wells in the area here in Chisenyi zone, and according to the foundation stone here, we see that it was worked on in 1992, so it was probably a natural spring that was actually built up in 1992. It has been here in this very kind of condition, and from a very good observation you can see that the wastes are actually very, very close to the clean water. So these are plastic bags just right there. This is real pollution. The waste and dumping has encroached on the water well, but there is a very clean water spring that is flowing out of that small pipe right there. So we have the entire community come to fetch free water here, which is a very powerful signal that we can actually have good water that is from the natural water table in this area. So very close to this, I want you to observe how this water flows from the well. It's already polluted right away with plastics and all sorts of garbage, and then whoa, it goes just underneath the road and joins the whole network of channels that we have been covering in the whole of Kamwokya. So this is one of the major features that we have so far as a clean water well, and you can see all the challenges that are associated to this, and it has been reconstructed a number of times from the kind of view that we have right here. This is another green space in somebody's compound. A number of households, but they have a common green space somewhere. We see some fruit trees and a number of herbs. We also have some birds in the background. Let me zoom into these trees, and you notice we have some few birds. It's the first time I'm seeing a bird in this whole area. So it's very important that we also notice the kind of biodiversity that can actually be revived if we work on transitioning this area into a kind of real sustainable green space. It has a number of families living in here, and I also want to connect you directly to the trenches that are actually flowing through and to these green spaces. Just the very way the whole network keeps flowing almost everywhere. Right here. Yeah, so as partner organizations, FlipTown Decentralized Autonomous Organization, Give Love Initiative, the Ghetto Research Laboratory, and Munansi Green Initiative, with the people of the area. That is very important, because all that you see is us working with the people of the area, giving interviews and talking to them in a friendly way and asking them about what can be done in this kind of community. This is another one of those green spaces. We don't have any tree here, but we have this grass that is growing around, and the space is kind of big. It's about 50 by maybe 40 something on in area, in square meters, and there is no activity that is going in here, especially targeted at reviving the green or even making it thrive. So this kind of space, if we are thinking about sustainable transition, these are spaces that can actually be used to actually make real gardens and have trees and more enforcement for the green, so that we can have the biomediation and all these activities going on as we have. You also check out in some of these compounds, we have some real trees that have been grown out there. We have some avocado trees that have been kept by some people. This is an avocado tree, a fruit tree that has been maintained by the owners, the homestead that actually has this in their land. And I think it's a very amazing thing that we get to see some fruit trees inside some households. That's a Musambia tree, very tall. Seems it has been here for more than 20 years, and it has been maintained by one household, and that is amazing. If every household can actually keep as much green as they can, as much fruit trees as they can, that is what we are looking at. Here we have another green space, and this green space is actually cordoned off by a perimeter wall. It should be a construction site that has just been delayed somehow. In the background, you also have another construction site that still has some green right there. So when you look at this green space, it has not been tended to. This is nature regenerating itself and doing its own work, you know. So there might be plans to construct in this area, as we will find out later in our survey. But this is helping a lot for a little bit of green in this area. So it's a key place to note. Hey there. Yes, we have some more trees growing out of people's homesteads. And this is amazing. Check this out. A little flowers. The people still maintain these flowers on the walls somehow, somewhere near these channels when you come to this side of Kamwokya. So this is very amazing. We have an entire tree with a whole canopy here, and in the far background you can still see some green. It gets better here. Yeah, this is Agape Primary School in Kamwokya. This is called Point Africa Zone 5J1. Told you we are FlipTown, decentralized autonomous organization, and we are working out a whole survey of getting the green spaces covered in Kamwokya. And look here, we have a gated area that actually has some space that we would say would be green, but it's not green because it's probably used for a lot of play, maybe like football in the evening and something. And there's also a lot of garbage and dumping here, so the waste pollution is too much also. Look at all these kinds of, these are braids and artificial hair being dumped out here. A lot of polythene plastic bags. And then in the far background we can actually see some real trees. There are some avocado trees. We have some pawpaw trees, and we also have banana plantain in the far background there. So it's one of the green spaces we can say is available right here. And this side of the town, they have a number of trees in the compounds, in the households, which is something that it's a good starting point. Maybe they have an association or they have a connection to the trees. They already know about the trees. In the first ghetto that we went to, no one even had anything green in the neighborhood. They don't even know what a tree looks like close to you or growing nearby you. What you see right here are debris from a construction kind of activity that is happening in the neighborhood. And this has been mercilessly just dumped in the road without any kind of sorting. So there are lots of broken bricks and sand, but look at all these kind of non-biodegradable waste that has actually been dumped in the road from a construction site. And it's not just here, it's in a number of places. Look at this pipe here. You can clearly see that it pours the water directly off where it's supposed to be pouring, and there's no connecting system. This is also still the same thing here, pipe breaking out into the road and construction companies dumping things outside in the roads. Look at this. So, like I said, we have some greenery this side of the town. you can see these kinds of trees when it comes to homesteads like these ones. There are some trees and some gardens inside, because when you see what you see right there, we have some plantains, we have an umbrella tree in the far background, we have some avocado trees, and we even have some herb trees here, some native African herb trees, which is something very powerful. And from the view here, you can actually see that we have good plantains growing inside here. So the people this side are actually connected to a green in some way. They have gardens and they're tending to these. We have some trees right here. This is a very small gate, but you still see some green kind of yams growing from inside right there. So this is Katate Lane that we are flowing into. Amongst the community organization in this area, we have a wall advert here. It is a wall message, and it has a youth smoking on some herbs, and they say young people avoid using drugs because they are harmful to your health and society. And then we have just say no to drugs. This is some kind of art that has been put on the wall by the organizations to put out a message to the people. We don't know what this kind of thing would be doing to the psychology of the young people if they see no smoking. I've read some psychology, and I've noticed that when you put a poster of no smoking somewhere, you have more smokers in that area than without the poster. So I think it is also intensely useful if we find out exactly what these kinds of messages how these kinds of messages can actually affect the people. It is very, very, very amazing here that we can even notice animal life. We have goats that are actually on free range. They are feeding themselves in this small green space here. And in the background, you can still see a lot of trees right there. That's a teak tree in the background with those broad leaves. And we have this small green space here where there's been dumped a lot of construction rubbish and all these non-biodegradable plastic bags and the black construction bags. But someone is actually rearing goats from here, and they look healthy. They look fine, though they don't have good grass to feed on. I don't know what they do for the water or something. And it's very, very close to this neighborhood. Take a look at this. This was previously constructed with a kind of cover, but it has broken down and all fallen into the trench, and it has even blocked it up more. The locals are excited with the idea of introducing bamboo covers, especially for these kinds of systems, and they say that there is a very big kind of population that actually uses these roots that are actually almost walking on top of the trenches. So what we have right here is a small mosquito net that has been actually put around a small perimeter of 3 poles and stretched out to make a kind of greenhouse. So the lady that owns this says it's a garden, it's a micro garden, one very small garden that I've seen. It has some tomatoes in it, it has a mango seedling in it, and we are going to hear from her because she says she knows she will eat some tomatoes from here. If you can view clearly through this, there are some tomatoes here, there are some mangoes here, and let me see if we can actually have a word from her. Mami, badde nsaba otunnyonnyoleko ku nnimiro yaffe eno ne ku vision gy'olina mu maaso awo gwe asobola okulimira mu kaspace akatinyibwe kati. kati ffe kye tuli mu kunoonya mu area zino tugezaako okunoonya awali green ebimera nga bigezaako okwezza kati ate gwe oli wanjawulo bw'oba otandise n'okwerimirawo kubanga naffe mu vision yaffe twagala tuintroducinge bu gardens obutonotono bwe butyo omuntu mwasobola okujja vegetables n'afeedinga famire ye kati gwe no vision wagijjawa waliwo eyakikubuulirako oba kyali muli n'ogamba naye wano osobola oteekawo akanyanya kange ne kakula
kyali muli naye neeri wansi gundi ku community babitusomesa
olina we wayitako ne babasomesa
netutandikawo ng'osobola otandikawo akalimira akalimawo akanyanya oyembe
kati baba ba community ababasomesa balina engeri gye bafollowinga up ne bajja ne balaba ku garden gye watandika n'omulala gye yatandika tebannaba kujja naye nga kino kintu kirungi nnyo bwe tuba tutandise nekyogambye ekyokukeyaringira kasasiro kirungi nnyo mukwano era amaani yongereramu ddala tomanya ne bano baneiba bayinza okulalira ku nnimiro yaffe ne bakolayo ennimiro endala kale maama webale nnyo. Very close here, we also have these ducks that are enjoying this. But just like I mentioned, we say they are enjoying this, but I think it's because they have no option at all, because they are trying to take a look at that. They're actually trying to look for food in the polythene bags, and it's even very hard trying to open the polythene bag to find something to eat from there. These ducks are actually struggling to find something to eat out of all these channels polluted with the plastic bags and everything. Even when the food might be there for them, it is very tough for them to open the plastic bags and actually have something to eat. But there are a number of them here, so they are thriving here. Wanji? Ndi mukukwata mbata.
Wewunye ebyaliwo nga tunabaawo ffe nsi ffena ne bajjajja baffe yali tugagirekawo ne bajjajja baffe naffe.
So like we've been following this whole channel from the other side. This is where all these channels, all the different networks that come from this side and this side actually drain to. So it's just very close to the homesteads and the shops out here, and just like you saw in the introduction of the video, people come and take water from here for very many different things, even washing fruits. The channel is extremely contaminated. I've not seen a channel this contaminated around the communities that we have been to. Look at that. In the background, in the far background, you're going to see a number of cows that are actually feeding on this kind of water. You're going to see homesteads very close. You're going to see latrines and toilets very close that are actually emptying into this kind of thing. It's a very dangerous situation right now, and this is where we want to transition this using the grassroots knowledge and approach to actually bring the solutions to the people by themselves and have this place fully transformed into a sustainable green area that is healthy for the people. Well, what you see is the biggest channel in this area, the main drainage channel in this area. We've been following up on a network of all these small trenches that come from the people's households, that come from the latrines, that come from all these places, with all the kind of pollution and the dumping that is happening. Now, each and every one of those small channels empties into this one. And you can see how extremely polluted this place is, with a lot of these polythene bags, a lot of these non-biodegradable materials, fully filling up the whole place. This is the reality of this place. Small bridges over these kinds of places, and then businesses built over these kinds of places. The trench is just right here, so it still goes down right here. And this is a kind of e-waste recycling area. You can see a lot of e-waste is actually gotten from all these places and recycled and put back on the market. But you can actually see that this is built over the trench. So you can see all these places are built just on top of the channel.
abawoto kujja abantu basenyesenyedde eri amazzi naye nga amazzi galuga.
So as you can see in this zone, the water is moving, but this is typically black water.
Yeah.
So black water means that this water is really contaminated and there's a lot of sewage.
Yeah.
So apart from the sewage, now this is a wet season, no, a dry season. Can you imagine, like dry season? There are no rains, nothing. The rains haven't like gone for like almost a month. But now just imagine in the rainy season, this thing overflows all the way to the top. And then you find that this water is moving inside to back to this side. So as you can see, all this rubbish that is being
But now these women were jobless, and you know, most of them are single mothers, and they can't afford even paying that single wooden room. So by employing them here, now we want to pay them 500 Ugandan shilling per bottle. Are you able to pay for the next 20,000 bottles so that we can empower 300 women and we construct a toilet? Use this bottle to construct a toilet where it's necessary in the community. So Sudio says, yeah, I can do that. Then they organize something and they give us this, they fundraise and they give us the money and we implement.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that one, we have around, 500 women impacted around the 10 zones of Kamwokya. Wow. Kamwokya has 10 zones. But when you go outside, now you're talking of many women impact. It is a project for women because they are the most vulnerable. All people in the slum are vulnerable. But when you look at certain groups, they are more vulnerable than the others. Such groups include the women, girls, kids, the people who are disabled. Focusing the most vulnerable community.
Empowering, giving tools.
Yes. So with that, this one is a diaper, eco diaper brick. So someone may ask, what happened to the poo that was inside? So we've trained the women to using PPE to sort this poo and the cotton and those other crystals, the gel, because we realized they all biodegrade. So we include them in a compost pile where we include also our human waste and other biodegradables to make this compost manure that is rich in nutrients like carbon, nitrogen,
that's phosphorus. The one you're taking to
the farmers, yes. And we even sell it at a cheaper price. Imagine selling people's poop. The audience calls it poop. For us, we call it gold. Hey,
black gold.
Yesterday I saw you using a polythene.
Gold is a color on its own.
Yeah, it was night. After using, you tied it and it flew to a neighbor's roof. But now today in the morning it has rained and the neighbor didn't know about that. He's harvesting water and they believe what is coming from God. They don't boil it. Don't you see your contributing?
So your rainwater should be clean.
Please don't throw this gold again. There's a public toilet there. This is how it works. Can you please tell your family to use that toilet? We can even give you a store, and you use that a separate toilet. Because after all, for us, we're harvesting the gold. Every day we harvest the gold and add value to it. So our purpose is to add value to things that are not necessary. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess would you say the most challenging thing to work on is the cultural transformation, is the education of the people, right? Because the solutions are out there, right?
Yeah.
It's not an issue to find a solution. That's part of what's I say that
the grassroots has the solutions actually.
That's what made me start to work on this is also that when you travel around the world and you see what challenges we have, actually we know how to solve 99.99% of the problems in the world. We have all the tools, all the knowledge, everything to solve it. But usually the problem is not finding the solution, is that the solutions don't get to the people that needs them because of different things, interest, corruption, logistics, economics, maybe some scarcity of resources, whatever. But we have the knowledge, we have the potential to do this, and it's amazing when we can start working. That's why the grassroots movements, it's more about working bottom up, right? If we were able to do a top down change in the world, it will be faster because you have the power, you have the resources, you have the option to change policies, laws, whatever. But the problem is that because on the top there is so much accumulation of interest, powers, maybe corruption, money, a lot of influence. So I don't really trust the change will come from there. And anyway,
no one does.
And anyway, if we don't empower people, even if you get someone that is wanting to do the right thing on the top, a lot of people was killed in the governments, right, in different countries. And then, for example, Plato has a concept called the philosopher king. Someone that is powerful enough and wise to kind of do the right decisions, to think not only for himself, but also for the people, for the community. But even if you have a philosopher king, after he passes, because everyone is impermanent, everything is impermanent in the universe, so everything will stop at some point. So the sustainability, it's about not stopping change, but it's about evolving with change, right? So that's why the grassroots movements are very important, to empower the people, create the consciousness, give the tools, and what is kind of an art is the art of transformation, and then it's kind of self-developing. That's why I think it's beautiful to see this type of movement, kind of, and what you're doing. And one of the things I love that you mentioned, it's about music or art or any form, which is, for me, it's about, one of the things I like to ask people is, how do you think we can develop empathy on others? Because what really makes the difference, the first problem is not knowing the problem. So not being aware of something, you can't do anything if you are not consciously aware that this is happening, right? So that's the first point, and that's where kind of bringing empathy, in a way, it's about sparking the emotions in people, so they will feel related to something, and that, like, also I think you mentioned, like, having a faith that you can do also something about it, right? So if we can use art, testimonies, action, kind of, and see the change, then that's amazing, very powerful to empower people. So
I'm a good historian.
Yeah, that's
I'm a teacher.
great.
I'm a teacher.
Really?
And I studied history. I was even the best at my campus during my year. I was bring out that because I made it. It was a big surprise to my parents, calling them, and I'm the best at campus, and they are retaining me, So, but when you look at history, in Uganda, they are trying to remove history from the curriculum, but we are opposing it. Why? Because you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you're coming from. So you can use history to tell the future. If my dad used to be a drunkard, what should I do? And he died at 64 years. So what should I do now to die at maybe 90? I should either reduce on the amount of alcohol, or I should maybe use the time that he used in alcohol to do some innovations somewhere. Let me make myself busy, and I drink innovations. I drink that wine of innovations. So suddenly when I get drunk, I'm drunk with innovations. Yeah. So we have this seed ball project. It is another project, another great innovation that we think can change not only Uganda, but the whole world at large. This is to do with planting trees. But now, when you look at organizations in the world that are in planting trees, there are very many, but the world still needs 1 trillion trees planted if we had to reduce the carbon emissions. and that is by 2050. If you've not done that by 2050, if you don't have 1 trillion trees planted, those people who will be there by from that time will suffer from the sour grape that the parents,
our bad choices.
Yeah, they'll get the
because
sour
we are the
taste.
parents right now.
Yeah. So what happens? We realized planting trees is important, but it's very, very boring. Very boring. And we said the world is 8 billion. And now when you look at the population who are in the know of that we need trees if we are to reduce this by this, there are very few, not even a quarter. And now when you examine the quarter, those who are willing to plant trees, or at least 10 trees per year, or at least a tree, you remain negatives. Others are, all of them are talking on platforms and those big hotels, and they talk, the world is going crazy and we should do this, then they go quiet. Yeah. So you find that we needed to innovate around planting trees. Yeah. We needed to innovate around making planting trees easier and fun. That's why now we went back to our history. That's why I told them I'm a history teacher. In our history, this thing used to kill birds. Yeah. So we used to, after eating lunch, all the boys would go away, like as the parents are resting. For us boys, we go away and we have, everyone has this.
To play?
Yeah, but now we get stones and we go to that bush, we target those birds. So once you kill one, you a champion, you're the man, all those other boys. So the more birds we could kill, the more birds we could kill, the more, more manure. Yeah. So we didn't know that birds are part of the biodiversity.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't know that at one point birds are the ones that plant most of the trees in the world. You know? Then when we realized they are part of the environment, now we are using the same catapult because we believe another generation growing like we used to like we passed is still doing the same thing because it's in our culture. As we are growing in the villages, we have to make this, you know. So we are now showing them how we can use this to plant trees. Yeah. So with a seed ball, so we get a seed of a tree. We are so much focusing on the nitrogen fixing, trees like acacia, like
you use indigenous.
Indigenous.
Yeah.
And we are so much focusing on these species, local tropical African species that are fading due to either deforestation or maybe overpopulation. I don't know. So we get the seeds of those plants, those trees.
Where do you get them from? The seeds?
Well, of course, you have to make a tour.
Okay.
Each one of us has a village where they come from. So when we are in a meeting and we're discussing, we want to do rotate around acacia. He tells us, but our home acacia is everywhere. If I go home, I can get all the seeds. When I'm planning to go home, next week actually I'm going home because it's Easter. Will you be able to get for us some seeds? I'll get a full basin. Then when he brings,
right.
That's how we do it. Yeah. Or maybe do you have 1,000 sugar? You can go to that district, bring 1 A, B, C, D species. Then we have them because we realized they are feeding. Yeah, they are feeding. So that's how we do it. So
you take the seed?
Yeah, we use the compost manure that we get from the community. Then we mix with clay. Clay acts as a binder. Compost has 99 is compost manure. Why? Because we believe our baby, once we put the baby out there and rain falls on the baby, automatically the first 6 months of feeding should be from this breast.